Hi, hello, and welcome to this video. Here we're going to talk about scalping, how we can do scalp trading, okay, and get into profitable trades. Okay, so first we'll see what are the aspects of scalping, what exactly is a scalp trade, then we'll go into further details. Okay, it's actually a trading style that specializes in profiting off small price changes, right? It's like micro trades are very small trades which you will where you book your profits in a few seconds or a few minutes. Okay, and this is you'll be capitalizing from very high volatile markets and which are mostly in speculative in nature. The main intention of scalping is to gain profits in like very small movements in the market, even a few paisa or a few rupees the price movements are happening. That way you will book your profits. That's mostly in speculative nature only. Okay, and it's usually traded in very high quantities, and you have to take multiple trades because you cannot expect very high profits in one or two trades, right? So either you have to trade in very high quantities or you have to take multiple trades with small quantities. That way, scalping will give you the maximum benefit, right? And you need to have a very strong exit strategy, that is a very strict stop loss, because if the market is not going in your favor, that means you're going to end up in losses. That's why it is very important to exit if it is not going in your favor. You need to have a very strict stop loss, ideally around 1% or even less than that, and then you have to exit the trade. Okay, and the ideal risk to reward ratio is 1:1. Okay, so basically it's like whatever percentage you're having as the risk, the same percentage you can have it as the reward ratio also. So either ways, you have to exit. If booking a profit or loss, that ratio will be almost equal in scalping. Okay. Now, the ideal time frame you can use in terms of chart analysis. You can use 1 minute or even sometimes less than that, 5 seconds or 2 seconds. If they're going very micro trades, you can do that. Ideally, 1 minute is very effective for scalp trades. Okay, so let's see what are the benefits of scalping. Okay, not required to spend much time on trading, right? If you're very busy at work, if you don't have much time to become a full-time trader, scalping requires very less time to trade, right? Few minutes, few seconds also you can book your profit, right? So you don't have to spend the whole day analyzing charts and sitting in front of the system, looking at the markets, like checking the market news. So all these things is not required. Probably 15 minutes or half an hour is actually enough to perform the whole trade, analyze it and book your profits, right? So that way it's very beneficial. Again, potential to gain very huge profits if the trade is going in your favor, right? If you have 1:1 ratio, you can also exit the trade and booking profits at the 1:1 ratio. But you can also wait, right? When the market is totally bullish, going in your favor, or even bearish if you're shorting, and if it's going like 4-5%, then you have very good potential to gain a lot of profit. That way, scalping has got huge benefits. Okay, and it can be used sideways, also in choppy market, right? Even the market is not moving in any direction, no uptrend or downtrend, you can still make money in sideways movement because you will not worry about the major trend changes, right? You'll be worried about the minor trend changes. That's when more advantage is there. And you can book profits even in bullish, or even if the market is bearish, it doesn't matter. You can take either long position or short position. So that way, whichever way the market is going, you can do shorting and also still make money here. Okay, and it can be used in any asset class, including derivatives like futures, options, and equity, cash market, or if you're in commodity or currency, whichever segment you're trading in, it doesn't matter, because any security where you're seeing very high momentum or have very high volatility, then you can capitalize on that and start making profits. Okay. So I'll just walk you through a sample trade which I personally took so I can explain that to you better. Okay, so here you can see I took a couple of trades today. One was in Bank Nifty and other was in Nifty. So probably I'll show you Bank Nifty, right? So the thing is, like, after you enter at a particular strike price or whatever, this is an index option. Basically, I have to look at it from the options point of view. So the premium price I entered, so I took a call option for 30,700. Okay, today. And I'm entering at 68.6 and I'm buying 1200 quantity. Okay, and after I enter this trade, okay, I'm placing an order to exit at 72, right? But what happens was the market did not go in my favor, it turned bearish. Okay, So after it came down, okay, I have two choices. Either I can exit the trade if I don't have the high risk tolerance, then I can exit the trade. I don't want to book a lot of loss, or I can add more quantity. So ideally speaking, after you enter into the trade, if it is coming back, if it is retracing to around say 10-20%, so wherever that's the right price, then you can add more quantity, right? If it is coming more than 10%, then you can exit the trade. Again, this is more in terms of what you call options. I'm saying even equity, you can go for that, like probably very like 0.2%, 0.3%. You can have very small. So in this, it came down to almost 10 rupees, right? Like 60, it came down to 57. So I'm adding more quantity of 1,000, okay, at 57. So this will bring down my average price to around 63, right? So I'm canceling this order because 72 is not, it's not going to 72 as of now, it's down. So at this at 120, so 125, what I'm doing, I'm adding more quantity at 44.8, okay. Now ideally at this time it is advisable to exit the trade because it's already in big loss. But the price drop was really drastic here. It's a big risk in scalping because the price drop, if it is very quick, then you don't have much control over the trade. It's very ideal to keep a stop loss order, okay. But I'm willing to take the risk. Again, the risk tolerance factor will differ from person to person. So if you're somebody who's willing to take risk, I can still wait, because in this case I was very confident the market will be bullish in terms of Bank Nifty, okay. When I took this strike price, okay, let's look at it. I took it at 119, right? It was around 30,668. So I was expecting the market to go bullish to 30,700. That's why I was confident and I was holding on to it, right? So if you look at the whole section here, the market is fully choppy, right? It's very sideways. It's not giving any direction which way the market is expected to go. Like if you look at this here, from here it was totally bullish. It went up from 30,500, it touched 700, almost 200 points gain in a short span of time, in just 15 minutes, right? After it hit that, I think it's touching the R3 levels, R2 or R3 levels, and then it starts moving sideways. The whole section, it's not ideal to trade because you have to wait for a trend reversal here. But in terms of scalping, you don't have to wait for a trend reversal. Even a very small, in fact, sideways movement is ideal to do scalping because most likely it will come back to the buy price, right? That way you can book your profits. So I'm entering somewhere here and expecting the market to be bullish. So I'm adding more quantity. That is, I'm adding a 400 quantity, okay, at 125. Okay, my average price is coming down to 60 now. Okay, and what happens? I'm just waiting for 5 minutes. At 130, what happens? It comes back to 60, the price where I entered on the average price, and it goes above. It hits 63. That's where I'm placing an order to exit. So I book my profits at 63. Okay, this is at 130. Let's see it, the chart at what happens at 130. You can look at it here. 130, it was touching 306.70, right? There's a small bullish trend here. So that pushed the price up, Bank Nifty, and the premium price also went up. I'm booking my profit, right? It's a very high risk trade, but scalping, you should be prepared to take that risk. Or you can also take multiple trades with very strict stop loss, then you'll be able to book your profit. So let's see what are the profits I got in this case. Because my lot size is really huge, I was able to get 6,561 profit. Okay, and this is I closed the whole trade in about 10 minutes. So 120, it goes up to 130, right? So 10 minutes closing the trade. In fact, after I exited, let's see what really happens. Okay, I expected the Bank Nifty to go up to 30,700, right? So let's see here, 140 goes to moving sideways till 145, nothing much happens. Okay, let's go. It actually falls. It falls at 150, it goes to 30,600. I would have been in loss, huge loss, right? Look at the price difference. If I didn't exit at the time, I would have been in loss, right? But if I were still holding on to it, what would have happened? Look at this. By 2 o'clock to 2 minutes, it jumps 100 points, right? Almost 100 points. That would have given me a huge profit. It would have, I think the premium would have touched around 70 or 75. I exited at 63 itself because I was not, because when you're doing scalp trading, it's very important to not hold on to the stock for a long time, probably around 10-15 minutes max. You should be able to quit that trade. Otherwise, it will not be able to effectively work. Especially in this case, I'm buying an option on the day of expiry, being a Thursday. So weekly expiry day for options, so you have the time decay factor, the theta value in the options Greek will be working against if you're buying a call, right? The call buyer will have that problem. Even if Bank Nifty underlying stock is going up, your premium value is not going to be, it's not go up as much unless there's only the delta factor will come into play, where that way your premium will be going up as when the underlying stock is going up. But theta is going to work against you. So that way it's not advisable to hold the trade, especially when you're buying an option on the day of expiry. So I didn't want to take any risk. I'll show you one more trade which I took. This was Nifty call option again. I took it for the 14th November, the following week expiry. Okay, so here I'm taking lot size 3000. Okay, I'm very confident of Nifty going up. Okay, so you have to take scalping only after performing the proper analysis on technical aspects, right? You cannot just like that jump into a trade without knowing which way the market is expected to move. Okay, so I took this trade. Let's see what time I've taken it. I've taken it at 3:14. Okay, so we'll jump to 3:14 and see what really happens. At 3:14, the market is totally bullish here, right? At 3 o'clock. Okay, and it's moving to choppy market here. It's totally sideways here, not much momentum. So I picked this kind of a opportunity where the market is actually consolidating, right? It's not moving either ways. So I entered at 3:14. It is somewhere here, 12,012. Okay, I'm basically buying an in the money call. Okay, it is little above the strike price. So what happens after I buy? It goes up a little bit. So at 3:27 I'm exiting the trade. Look at this. The strike price, the premium is at 47.55. I'm buying. Okay, after I buy, what happens? There's a slight bullish. It turns slightly bullish here. You can see it's slightly bullish, but it goes a little above. It touches 48. I'm exiting the trade. Okay, after exiting the trade, it actually touched 50. Okay, but the thing is, I'm very close to the market close time, 3:30. So I don't want to carry forward my position. Any scalp trades, please square it off before market close. Don't even carry it forward, because when the next day when market is opening, it will be very volatile and you may be in huge loss, right? So let's see the positions tab. Let's see how much profit this gave. This gave me 1,300 rupees profit. The total day's profit is almost 8,000. Okay, now I've just taken 2 trades because I was not comfortable to go for many trades. I didn't find many opportunities, but in fact, if we had gone for like 4-5 trades, this profit could have been much more. Okay, again, it depends on the capital which you have. If you have a higher capital and higher margin exposure, then you'll be able to maximize the profit. So in terms of like I'm trading around 2 lakh rupees like margin in terms of capital. So this kind of capital, if you take multiple trades, you can definitely get good profits. Again, it depends on what kind of trading strategy. It's all about timing also here. You should get the timing right and pick the right stocks. Being in index options, it is actually beneficial because it's very, very highly volatile. But if you're trading in stocks or any other securities, you'll be very careful. Okay, so this is just an example. I just wanted to walk you through a sample trade. We'll just get back to here. We'll see what are the problems and risk involved in scalping, right? Scalping is not always beneficial. It may also work against you. Okay, it is very highly speculative and can result in huge loss if you trade without proper risk management. That's why it's very, very critical to keep a stop loss. Or in my case, I didn't actually keep a stop loss here because I was very confident. Bank Nifty and Nifty, I was very confident it's going to be bullish. In that case, you can also wait for some time, depending on your risk tolerance, because I was actually in loss in those few minutes. Okay, but I was willing to wait and then I booked my profit, right? So should also apply a proper technical analysis before trading. You should time your trades very carefully, pick the right trades, and then that will work for you. And also it can result in very high brokerage cost with multiple trades, because when you're scalping, most likely you'll be taking a lot of trades, or if you're using high capital, you can take few trades and you're done for the day. Okay, but if you're taking high number of trades, your brokerage also will increase. So that's something you have to keep in mind. So trades on less liquid securities may not get placed, right? So if you pick a stock which is not having high volatility or high momentum, the chances of your trades getting executed is lesser, right? That way you should be very careful. And timing of entry and exit is extremely critical, because even if the market is choppy, it may drop a time and it may also go bullish. It may work against you, right? So timing is very, very important. Don't hold on to the trade for a long time. and exit as soon as possible, right? So order execution is of primary importance here. If your order is not getting executed at the right time, even a few seconds will matter here. So very, very important. Keep this in mind. And some points to remember when if you're beginning stage, if you're a novice scalper. Okay, so pick trades with high spread between the bid and ask price. If you look at the like depth of market or even the options chain, whichever segment you're trading, look at the spread. When you have a wider spread, that will give you better chances of booking profits. Okay, and preferably trade in stocks or equities or any asset where they it's got very high volume, also high momentum stocks. Okay, that will give you more scope to get profits. Also advisable to take long positions first if you're in the beginning stages of scalping. So before you go for shorting, because shorting you need to have a much more detailed actually analysis, so for you to understand the market properly. So start off with taking long positions, buy first, sell later, and then look at short selling. Okay, and also need to keep very strict stop loss. I strongly recommend this unless you're an experienced scalper, you know when to exit. But if you're a beginning stage, always try to exit the trade if it is not going in your favor. Keep a strict stop loss. So this risk tolerance will change. Ideally, it can be like 1% or 2% on an average, but that can differ depending on the trade and how confident are you about the trade. Okay, and spotting the right trend and timing the trade is very important. Like always pick section or the trend where it's moving sideways or choppy markets. That will give you, because most likely the price will keep varying in the same range. When you have a range bound market, that is it's going to give you higher potential to gain returns. And not holding the trade for long time, very important. When you're scalping, you cannot hold it for even more than half an hour or even 1 hour, right? That'll be more into intraday concept. So always exit the trade at the right time, and all positions should ideally be squared off on the same day. Okay, please do not carry forward. In the example which I showed you also, before 3:30 I squared off my position. I didn't want to carry forward, right? Even if I'm very sure that this is going to work in my favor, I'm going to square it off. And limit margin exposure to minimum risk, even if you're taking intraday. See, mostly it will be MIS or intraday trades when you have very high exposure to the margin. But I suggest don't utilize the whole margin, especially in scalping. Limit your exposure to risk, and that will also limit the overall loss in your trade. Okay, that's about it. I hope this was useful for you if you're planning to take scalping. So please be very careful. Follow whatever pointers you've seen here and whatever example I've showed you. So the thing is, like, bottom line, when you see the price dropping below, you can add quantity up to a certain limit and then wait for the price to go up. Most likely it will come back and hit your target price, and then you can book your profit. Okay, so please try this, whatever you've learned in this video, please apply it and let me know how it goes. And I really hope this was useful for you. Take care and happy trading. Thank you.